Ще не мила України, ні слава, ні воля. Ще не браття українці, усміхнеться доля. Згинуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці запанує, і ми, браття, у своїй сторонці. Душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the AMP Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
And welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a beautiful Tuesday. Talk Tuesday.
Talk to me Tuesday.
That piece you saw was from that little girl who was in a bomb shelter and was singing.
Yep.
And you've seen it all over the news, and we got a hold of it, and we put it out there. And she was taken to Poland, and she sang in front of?
She sang in front of 12,000 people in a stadium to raise money and awareness for what's going on in the Ukraine. Her story is amazing. The power of social media, which is why I think this has changed so much from World War II. The good and the bad is that they found this video, I guess her family took it, of her singing Frozen in a bomb shelter when she was in the Ukraine. The video went viral. Idina Menzel, the original singer of Frozen, of this song, Let It Go, even reached out and said, I hear you, I see you, we are all here with you. Her mother, her brother, her grandmother, they all got out, they went to Poland, and she opened up for this incredible concert for humanitarian aid and to raise money for the Ukraine. And there you have her, 7 years old, singing flawlessly in front of 12,000 people to bring awareness of the national anthem of Ukraine.
Oh, for a good cause. Listen, I just want to remind you, this portion of the show is brought to you our friend Steve from Gubba Rum.
It's how? Wicked smooth?
Wicked smooth.
And
This portion of today's show is brought to you by Gubba Rum. It's wicked smooth.
It's 5 o'clock. To have a little schnapps.
probably over in the Ukraine, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, whether it's-
England, it's about 4 with the time change.
Also, I want to say some nice words to our friends in Ireland who made our show yesterday #1 watch this week.
Really?
Yeah, it must be because I named it Happy St. Patty's Day.
Oh, from last week's show. Very nice.
And yesterday, for some reason, people must have been sober, and over 12,000 views on the show.
Maybe it's because it was your birthday.
Anyway,
Moving on.
but there'll be more of that stuff coming on. But I just want to say, and we now have 80 people in Russia. And good morning to you, good evening, good night, whatever it is. We will be bringing you more information so you can pass it on, because at least 80 people in the country have been watching what we're talking about.
Because we are uncensored here, so hopefully we can get some information out to everyone. We don't know if we're hearing the right information here, that Facebook and Instagram, they are trying to take it down through your Russian government, but hopefully not. And you're seeing us through Roku or Amazon Fire Stick or downloading it or on all of our streams all over our platforms. But we are thinking about everyone in Russia, in the Ukraine, all of the people, about bringing efforts coming forward. These flowers I was fortunate to find yesterday at Fresh Market, one of our local grocery stores here in Boca Raton. And all of the proceeds, 100% of these proceeds, and they also have a Ukrainian bouquet, go back to Ukrainian humanitarian efforts to bring food to those that are in need. So we'll be heading back out to Fresh Market. I think it was like $5.99 for 5 stems. Whatever it was, they're beautiful. They have plenty, they're lovely. And Fresh Market is located right in Boca Raton. I'm sure locally, anywhere in South Florida, you can go out, support those that are sending food over to those that are in need. They look nice, right?
Very nice, very nice. They're healthy. They'll last maybe 2 days, and that'll be that.
No, sunflowers. You know, a few years ago, we had on a singer, Lady Butterfly. I don't know if you remember her. Her
Sure.
daughter died, Ariel Anaker Children's Foundation, Cancer Foundation. Her
Oh,
daughter
yes,
died from
yes,
cancer.
Yes. 2
And
years ago? No, further.
we were up at the other studio, so maybe three, four years ago. And then we had beautiful artwork on the walls. They had just come in, and they were beautiful, beautiful sunflowers, because it was always changing like it is here. And Lady Diana came in, and she talked about her daughter's foundation. She passed away from childhood cancer at a way too young an age. And she said her daughter's favorite flower was always the sunflower. So every time I buy these and I see them, I always think of Ariel Anaka and what's going on for children's cancer. So I will think I need to reach out to her as well, because you know what they say, there are no coincidences in our world.
And today's artwork behind us, beautiful stuff you got going back there, is from who?
Allison Lefcourt. These are originals, and yes, they are for sale. We figured let's level it up a little bit, talk about Women's History Month still. We've got Madonna, and no greater woman in our history than our great Lady Liberty, because we are fortunate enough to live in an incredible country where we do have the liberties that we have here in the United States. So let's represent the great women. We're still in Women's History Month.
That's right. And we got our Ukraine flag, we have our Ukraine flowers, and of course, today we are expecting some friends to come in. They're opening up their art gallery.
It's pretty exciting to see new businesses opening up, don't you think?
And I just got notified with 2 or 3 more that want to come in because they're watching and seeing what's going on. And we want to put the word out there to help them do that.
I have to tell you, it's pretty amazing. You and I have been doing this for a long time, and we started with the little set that we started with, and me, doing what I do. Now it has gotten to a point where I actually have to print out the bios that people send us so I can keep track and do what we have to do. It's so exciting to see all of this great information come forward. And we have the information for the artist, and we've got a lot of information coming. Actually, I've got another one on the printer, Bailey, if you can go grab that for me. Another bio for today.
And this morning show, we had a new singer, Cleve.
Charlie Clevenger.
I keep thinking Charlie Daniels because he sounds a little bit like him. CC, which is what I'm going to call him from now on, is CC. And if you listen to the morning show, you get to hear his song. If not, I was going to play it today, but I think I'm going to hold back till Thursday. That was a little tease. Very nice tunes, and we're going to talk to him a little bit as well.
How are people finding you with all of this music?
I'm well known. People know me.
They know you. They know Slick.
I owe a lot of money to a lot of people.
That's not a good thing. But we have the artists coming in. We've got the Mario Lanza show, which if you like music and you like opera, they call it pop opera, which, I was listening to him yesterday. I'm not sure what qualifies or constitutes differently between opera and pop opera, other than maybe, I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, I know somebody that I reached out for. She's in California. She's looking for the printer. So you can't send her out there without knowing what it is.
It's
in
right
the
behind
back.
here.
In the back. Pop opera. It made me laugh. There were movies made of pop opera.
Yes.
12 Monkeys.
I
The
don't
movie
know.
12 Monkeys.
Yeah.
They have this woman. She was in the movie. I got to meet her. And she had these long nails, and she sings opera. Pop opera, like rock opera.
It's like a
pop.
rock opera.
It's like a rock. Like Amadeus.
Like that movie that you love so much when you flew to PR, the Queen movie,
Yes.
right? Pop opera?
No.
It's not opera.
No,
pop
it's not.
music.
That was pop music.
Okay.
But pop opera, you know what music
honey.
what music sounds like for opera.
Right.
Pop opera is like rock, Rock Me Amadeus, things of that nature. That's pop opera. And it's a new thing that's catching on. It started to come in. 12 Monkeys had, you remember the guy, what's his name? The famous actor was in that, 12 Monkeys. and she sang, and she was in studio, and she told me she's making a comeback. I'm gonna see if she'll come in and sing one day.
Wasn't 12 Monkeys like Bruce Willis or something?
Yes, Bruce Willis.
He was in a pop opera.
There was pop opera. In
I'm
that
really
movie.
trying to pull from my brain banks here as I'm quickly aging.
There was pop opera in that movie.
Quickly aging, I must tell you. I don't know what they've changed because now look at what my page looks like.
I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know what they've changed, but pop opera. So that is going to be coming. Mario Lanza show. If you are in Europe and you are anywhere near England, shows are starting this Thursday for the Mario Lanza show, a live musical. We've been talking about this for months and months. We've got tenor Ian Michaels and Maria Kesselman, this beautiful soprano voice. And it will be singing, it's a whole show about Mario Lanza, his life and his music. And then you can see the live shows between March and May over in London. And we have the opportunity to be streaming this live on our AMP2 Events platform. So those of you that are not in London can enjoy this beautiful venue. And hopefully we'll be getting this into the movies of Delray also.
Well, the funny thing about what we're gonna do is they're rehearsing now. We're gonna put a trailer together, and I think that to make it easier on us, instead of having hard dates like the 14th and 19th and all that,
Right.
I think we're gonna settle on a date to give us enough time to tease people with it, and then play it maybe with a dinner or something else. I mean, why rush it? It's a pay-per-view anyway.
Absolutely.
So why am I rushing myself to, unless you want to see it live?
Oh, Sola Mia. Do you know Mario Lanza's tunes? Did your parents listen?
No.
Enjoy? Definitely
Oh,
before,
Sola Mia, I know.
right? You know, there's certain classics that you know. I
Oh,
didn't.
Sola Mia.
There you go.
That's about it.
We should actually produce your music.
Hairball.
We should produce your music.
Not my music. My music will.
You know, it's funny. I'm sitting here thinking about the beautiful art that we have behind us and Lady Liberty. Why do you think when France sent her over, they made her a woman? It could have been Mr. Liberty. It could have been anything. Why do you think they made her a lady?
Because
I never thought about it
anything
before.
spectacular is a lady. A ship is a lady. A spaceship is a lady. Because you treat a lady gentle. So when they brought her over, she was gentle. Do you know that in France they have a miniature Statue of Liberty?
We actually have one now also that's going to be in the consulate that they brought over, a smaller one.
Did you see that? That was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
But you think of the lady, when it was sent over, it wasn't equal rights for women at the time,
Darn.
right? It was none of this women empowerment,
Darn.
yeah, like we have now. But
You
here
call
she
up
sits.
Lady Liberty to go to her head, right? I don't want to go crawling up a guy, Liberty.
But ever wonder like why people do when they
just
create
told you.
artists? So I'm excited to see when the artist comes in what we're going to be doing with that. We've got the girls on the board today. We've got Alyssa running
Don't make them nervous.
point. We got Sarah running audio. You gotta love what we get to do every day. And Bailey running floor. Working on our next commercial. The next comic that she's working on.
So if you guys noticed the comic strip that just came out, Bailey says that you actually stapled the hot dog on my
Your shirt, right?
Did you see the staple?
She
I saw
showed
the
me.
staple,
She
but
showed it to me.
You have to have a person stapling it.
You need a mic. Go over to A1, Bailey.
Going to A1.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be. At first, I wanted it to be like how do I put it? How do I put it? Like, I didn't want it to be like noticeable. Not noticeable. Like, how do I put it? Oh, okay.
Bailey, but the pun of the joke was Dawn hitting me with the staple.
Yeah,
So you should have shown her with the staple gun.
yeah. I didn't want to I didn't want it to be like too obvious at first.
No, you want it to be obvious because that is the pun of the strip.
But you know what's so
Oh.
interesting about art is it's the perception because she doesn't want it to be too obvious as the
Yeah.
artist, but you want it to be obvious.
Of
So
course.
here's the difference, which is what's so really interesting to me.
But the
is
whole
because
strip-
the perception is through the eyes of Bailey, which are totally
Which is
unique
fine.
in itself, right?
But isn't the strip to show that you stapled
the hot
thing
dog
on
to
my
your
shirt.
shirt.
So to me, I would like to see you putting this funny face, stapling.
Or I could have put glue on it and go,
No, staple. Like, I thought you didn't do it because you didn't want it to seem so violent. See, I would give you that. Other than that,
Oh no, I don't mind a little violence here and
you
there.
know,
It's really interesting, is all I can tell you.
In the comic,
and I gotta
not
tell
in real
you,
life.
And I gotta tell you, the shirt is black, and I didn't notice until I read it. Like there was a lot of twists and turns. It was like that movie, The Batman, that I went to see. A lot of twists and turns.
In our own comic strip.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, though.
Well, because we don't tell Bailey, we give her an idea of what we'd like to see. Like I got a new one now that I'm going to have her do, which has to do with us going on a remote, and I'm going to include Kenny Loves in there if he gives me permission. Then I got some other people that want to be on the strip, which is
Did you see the
nice.
picture of you and Kenny Love from Friday? I need to, actually I should send it to Alyssa because
saw
you
it.
guys have this amazing warm embrace of love and brotherhood.
I know, he
like it a
cracked
lot.
my neck, by the
I
way.
was like, wow, that was pretty powerful.
Well, I hear that Kenny's Love show on Friday is Love the Ukraine.
Oh, really? I haven't seen anything on
That's
it yet.
what I saw, but I
Okay.
don't know if that's the show or that was just a post he made.
Interesting. It's
With
probably
Kenny,
the
he
show.
sort of moves, bobs and weaves.
But I really like that whole full embrace on you. Yes?
Oh yeah, by the way, tell them
Part 2 is coming?
Yeah,
Part 2 of that comic strip is coming. Maybe Freddie take the hot dog off his shirt and eat it. I don't know. Maybe he could squirt some mustard and mayo on it and eat it.
Oh, you'll see what happens.
The funny thing is that my son never thinks anything I do is up to snuff. Like the coffee campaign, he got mad at me because I was going to open up a coffee page. He said, no, why would you do that? We want to drive the traffic to the website. So you have to go to brooklyncafe.tv, look at the changes, go to the shop store, look at the changes. The sponsors in there, look at the changes. We're changing everything on that site. So buying the coffee and everything else is going to take place will happen from the brooklyncafe.tv.
All right, more coming. Let's take a quick commercial break. Give us a call. Our phone lines are open. 888-994-4995, Studio A. I love the fact, and I want to ask you this before we go to commercial break. When you say to people, I'd like you to have you come on the show, things are opening up, things have been open, so that's not right. Come on the show, spotlight your business. There are some people that have forgotten that the pandemic ever happened. There are some people that want to forget and are just here to grow business. So what is the best way, tagline, to say, come on down?
Amplify, unify, and network your business. Those three words.
All right, amplify, unify, and network your business. Always give us a call. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Once a professional musician, artist Steven Zwirn uses his creativity through multimedia artistic expression. His compositions use acrylic paint to create 3D masterpieces. Steven's fascination with brilliant colors and intriguing patterns with jewels and rhinestones entices the eye with color and dimension. For more information on the artwork of Steven Zwirn, contact Steven at 914-656-9060 or stevenzwirn.com.
Justin Mooney is special counsel of the Florida office of Hinman, Howard & Cattell Attorneys. Justin's practice focuses on tax, estate planning, guardianship, probate, and trust administration. His passion is to provide clients with sophisticated estate plans which carry out their wishes, reduce any potential taxes, and preserve wealth for future generations. The attorneys of Hinman, Howard & Cattell provide first-class legal services and have achieved a reputation for excellence for over a century, staying on the leading edge of the law. When you need representation or legal counsel, contact Justin Mooney at 561-276-1008 or jmooney@hhk.com.
Cool, calm, collected. Needing a drink to end a long day, or maybe to start your vacation right? Gubba Rum is here to let you kick back and do just that. Inspired by a technique that dates back to the 1800s, these artisanal, organic, and naturally infused rums are made from pure cane and the finest fruits, spices, and herbs the world has to offer. Gubba Silver is infused with naturally shredded coconut, and Gubba Gold is infused with real vanilla bean. Simply shake and enjoy. Visit gubbarum.com to find the nearest location a buyer enjoy. All establishments have personally reviewed and enjoyed firsthand the wicked smoothness of Gubba Rum. 35% ABV and 70 proof. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
Have you been injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or through the negligence of another? The lawyers at Shane M. Farnsworth, PA have over 40 years of combined experience representing injured individuals and their families. Call us today at 561-272-8337 for a free case evaluation and the answers to your legal questions. Were you injured in an accident that wasn't your fault? Don't let the insurance companies take advantage of you. Contact us now to learn about your options and to protect your rights.
Planning for the future should not be painful and needs to be discussed. From health, family, finances, allow qualified professionals to aid in your planning. Luhu Advisors have been serving South Florida for over 30 years. A licensed real estate broker, insurance agent, assisted living administrator, and certified senior advisor, Paul Solomon is the most qualified and well-rounded advisor for any task. Specializing in real estate, long-term care, life insurance and annuities, social securities, government benefits, and senior housing. Luhu Advisors. Let us help you.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
And we're back.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Coffee News.
This segment of the Brooklyn Cafe Show is brought to you by Coffee News. News to be enjoyed over coffee.
And we're back. Got to tell you about Coffee News. The advertisement in Coffee News, people are really funny. He called me this morning, we had a little chit chat. And what Coffee News does is they have two types of stands. One is a long stem stand that can go in front of your store or in your store, whatever you want. And the other one is a tabletop stand that you could put Coffee News. And what I'm doing now is the pieces that we don't give out, because this is a free notification, I'm sending down to where Linda works.
Oh, okay.
Because everybody wants to have it and they can't get it down there
Nice.
for whatever reason. Trivia, questions. And some of the people that are in here, we know. Lucky's in
Absolutely.
here, you're in here. Bubblicious is in here.
I'm in there. There you go.
Yeah, you're in here. Mm-hmm. Has horoscopes, it has all sorts of fun literature.
What's
So now-
happening in the area this week coming up?
In this
I
area?
missed the art show over the weekend. I really wanted to
You didn't
go.
read Coffee News.
I know. I did not realize it was the art show because I did not read what was happening in Coffee News until it was Sunday afternoon, and it was way too late for me to get there. I haven't been to an art show in so long. It's one of the favorite things I love doing in South Florida.
Well, this is
See under what's happening? What do
Yeah.
we have? What's happening?
turning 65 and Medicare, what you need to know.
Thankfully, I'm not there yet.
Future Stars Performing Arts Competition at Misa Amphitheater on Sunday, April 3rd. Doors open 5:30.
What kind of stars does it say?
Future Stars Performing Arts Competition.
Maybe we should tell Alana.
Maybe. Food Truck Friday
Oh, where's that?
on your model road,
And
Patch Reef Park. You know what that is?
sure.
Yeah, me too.
Food Truck
That's,
Friday at Patrick Park.
April 1st. 11
next
o'clock in
week,
the
okay.
morning, 11 to 2. I wonder if they have like 100 trucks out. We should go.
That's what I'm thinking. April
I would
Fool's
love to
Day
have.
food truck.
Yeah, that's Joey's birthday. And if you would like to receive your free version of Sunrise Coffee News for free, call 954-951-7870. And they want to know what's happening with you. So if you call that same number, you can tell them events that are occurring. I think we should use this and put something, cafes having, oh, you know what? I have an idea.
What's your idea?
I ain't going to tell you.
Say hi to JoJo. JoJo
JoJo's
is
in
watching us
Utah.
from Utah.
Yeah, she got altitude poisoning.
Do you know, I never knew that was a thing. We went skiing one year, and you know, I'm not of the greatest cooks. So
I
I
thought you
went
were
to
going to say
make
you were a skier.
brownie. I'm not a great skier either. I went to make brownies, and someone says to me, you need to cook them longer because of the altitude. Now, I thought they were like punking me, but apparently, no. You need to cook things longer on higher altitude. So can you imagine me being a chef out in Utah?
I can imagine that.
Can't even imagine that. But here's an interesting study. There's been a study that shows that when you get back to home cooking, a study done in Australia, a 7-week cooking class was found to significantly improve mental health and well-being, physical health markers of confidence and life satisfaction, as well as the ability to change eating habits.
Oh, there you go.
So they're saying it's signaling that getting back to family and eating dinner together and preparing meals together and having conversations.
That's the best
That's
way to
pretty
get
cool,
the
right?
family back together. Now, I got a piece of information for you. You know, when you go to a hotel, they leave candy on your pillow,
Yes.
or they give you a ticket to get a massage.
You know the little mints they would put those little
Mints.
Andes mints? Yes, the chocolate.
And then you have ants. But anyway, you get those things, right? So in Belize, the country of Belize, there's a place called Cha Creek Eco Resort. Eco Resort. And they leave a glass box with a caterpillar in the glass box that while you stay there emerges into a butterfly,
Oh,
a
that's
blue
so
butterfly.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I want to give that to Teddy for her birthday.
Someone once gave us that. Do you remember? They gave us butterflies
She
in a
ran-
jar.
She is definitely afraid.
And then I
You afraid of
released them.
butterflies?
Not really.
Teddy is. And she ran out of the studio, remember?
And then I released the butterflies in our old studio. Teddy's one of our long time ago producers.
They call her the goat.
Absolutely. That's funny.
It is. But there you go, Belize. The only information you can get from the Coffee News is right here.
You never know.
How can anyone be afraid of butterflies?
She just is. She finds them terror. Listen, I'm not afraid of roaches.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a roach on the set. It was on me, and I almost had a heart attack. I had to go see my cardiologist.
Have you ever seen a palmetto bug?
Stop. Yes, I have.
That's giant.
I become more of a warrior now because I'm older now. Now I kill them. I go at them. She releases them. She captures them and puts them outside, and they go to my house.
Yeah, you just can't kill all of them.
Have you seen a giant locust?
A giant? No, I've not seen a giant locust.
I have once.
Now, I got some information.
Sure.
You know that they have some bad storms going in Texas right now,
Yes.
Louisiana. So you see that, like 15
Tornadoes, yeah.
So they have a picture, a video. Somebody captured a video of a tornado, a red pickup truck, like what Cole has. And the tornado spun this thing up in the air on its side, and it lands right side up, and whoever was in it drives away.
Seriously?
Yes. So I'm watching Channel 12 News because they're playing it over and over again, and the lady that's on it goes, "What kind of truck was that? That's a great commercial." Takes a lick and it keeps on ticking. And everybody starts to laugh. I mean, it's not a funny situation.
Wow.
But the car never lost its headlights. The headlights were still on. It lands. Guy must have shook his head, or a woman, whatever, and they drive off.
Oh my gosh, you remember, I guess it was a couple weeks ago, there was a state trooper over on the west coast of Florida, I think in Tampa area, and there's a woman who had run through a barricade, and there was a lot of people running on a bridge. So the state trooper sees this woman careening down with her car in a way she shouldn't be. She takes her car, her big trooper, and she stops this woman from hitting all the people. She takes full impact of the crash, of this woman going the wrong way. She walks away. She said it never occurred to her not to do it, but she said when she joined the police force, her grandmother gave her a Bible, and she always has the Bible with her, and the Bible was in the car. Well, her police vehicle got taken. It got taken to compound, and she said as soon as she was released from the hospital, she and her husband went to the compound lot, and they had to find the Bible, and they went through everything. And she said, "We are not leaving till I find my grandmother's Bible." And they found it, and she truly believes in her heart that the angels protected her, and this Bible was there to protect her. She protected all of these people. She saved all of their lives, and she walked away as a true hero.
Wow. I went to Tampa one day, What's the name of that bridge in Tampa that goes like this and then it comes down?
The really big
Sun,
bridge?
The Sun Bridge, Sun something bridge. It's
It's
tremendous.
a huge scare.
They built that one because a boat took out the old one, so they had to build it up to the moon and back. So I'm going on this highway and I'm driving. I don't know who was, maybe it was Linda, I don't know who was with me. And there's a car that has bicycles on the back. You know how they tie bicycles to the back of a car? So something tells me, move the next lane over. Because I'm driving in the fast lane and this thing is in the fast lane. Now, when you have bicycles, you shouldn't be in the fast lane to begin with. So I move over and I tell whoever the person is, those bikes are going to come off. And sure enough, as God is my witness, they pop off and they take out the car, another car, another car, and another car. Because they're all over the place on this highway. Wow. And I'm like, I can't believe, you know, we call 911 and everything. I cannot believe
You missed
that
it.
occurred.
Wow.
But something in my ear told me to move over. I was coming down south from iHeart one year. I worked, I was by myself, I think it was Sarah. I'm going down. And there's a lot of congestion. And I'm telling myself, again, the voice, something isn't right. Slow down. So when I tell you slow down from 60, I went down to 30, moved all the way to the right. This white van comes, hits a car, hits another car, it looked like a ping pong. Cars were flying everywhere. Traffic, you see tires coming off. And I'm going down the middle, like it opened up. And I pull over and I call the police. I says, you're not going to believe it. She says, the lady says to me, are you okay? I go, yeah. She says, how did you get through that mess? I go, it opened up. And again, it was that voice that told me, slow down. You ever get this?
Well, I was going to ask you, do you always listen to that voice?
Always.
Because all day today, I've been having, for 2 days, this voice in my head of things that I'm thinking, and someone will say exactly what I'm thinking. Even today, when I went to go hang art, I said to you, what do you want me to hang? And you were exactly what I was thinking to hang. It's been 2 days like that.
Isn't that weird?
Do you listen to those inner
Always.
voices?
I had a Maxima, a brand new Maxima in New York, and I park. And this voice told me, don't park here. And I was tired. And in Manhattan, if you got a parking, you were lucky.
Right.
I get a phone call at 5:45 in the morning, and it's the police. And I go, officer, what's going on? He says, you tell me. I said, oh, no, what happened? They broke into your car. We found it on 3rd Avenue. Now, if I had listened to the voice, I wouldn't have parked there, right? So, question is, you ever have that voice that tells you, don't walk down this alley?
And then you think, are you paranoid? Are you making things up?
You don't
Do you listen to the voice? Right. So that was going to ask you, let's get out of my head. It's that fine line of when do you listen, when do you think you're paranoid, when do you say stop, or do you always listen to that inner voice? You always do.
No, I do. There are plenty of times that I've done a deal where the voice tells me stop, and I get up and I walk away, or I don't do the deal.
Really?
And people will tell me, what is wrong with this? There's nothing wrong with it. You just don't understand. There's a reason. Do I know the reason? No. Do I now listen to the reason? Always.
It's
Always.
interesting. And there are days that the voice is just stronger than others. And as soon as you're thinking something, ever happen, someone says it, exactly what you're thinking? You do that to me all the time.
There have been, remember, I'll never forget the time we had a guest, and she was there, and I heard her sister. And I said, by the way, your sister says hi, you need to call her. And she says, oh my God, I need to call her. She's calling me. How'd you do that? Remember this? This was up at the Del Rey.
It happens a lot. Actually, today when I was moving some things around, the TVs and the screens, and I knew I could, but there was you in my head saying, you're going to fall. If you trip over a while, you're going to fall. And normally when I'm doing things like this, you scream, Dawn, stop doing what you're doing. But I stopped.
Yeah, you moved the chairs. You moved those chairs.
I stopped and I asked you to come out and help me because I knew something was not, they were telling me, stop. You have to ask them for help because something's going to happen. You're going to trip, something's going to fall, and then you just don't do it.
Can I see your shoe?
Are you going to hit me with it?
No, I just want to see something. I just want to show, the public. You see this? Let me put it against my black shirt. This is a shoe that's moving furniture around in the studio. You see the heels? See this? This is ridiculous. You don't move furniture in these shoes. You're going to break a camera.
Now you sound like exactly what was in my head when I was moving all of that furniture around today.
I had a camera up there, the white camera, and I got caught on my leg, and they
I know,
went
I saw that.
$1,200 because it went whoop,
Today is National Bavarian Crepe Day.
Bavarian cream.
Do you crepe?
I don't like it.
I was going to ask if you like Bavarian crepes.
I don't like it.
You, Crazy Horse, are on this crazy food situation where the amount of protein you eat is unbelievable.
I know, right?
She is, I don't know how she packs it away. The beauty of youth is what I think.
This one,
This one could eat more than you.
she can. But you know, her mother is a fitness guru.
Apparently she has a new book out.
She has a new book out. We should have your mother come and talk about the book.
Yes, we should interview her.
Yes. Tell your mother I want her to come and bring the book, and let's have a little. She can just sat and do squats and everything else over there. But
When I get home, I'm gonna tell her.
your mom does all sorts of workouts. Do you work out when you see your mom, or do you just ignore her?
I don't. Sometimes I do.
You need a mic. Go sit over there.
One.
I don't often work out with her, but like I do help her a lot with like her recording her her recording her live streams, like whenever she does whenever she does her like lunge walks, like, and whenever whenever she's whenever she's doing like her lunge walks or anything like that, I'm usually the one who helps her like record and like make sure I don't like on our phone, make sure I don't shake it too much.
Are you learning a lot here?
I am.
Is it what you thought it was going to be?
What do you mean?
Did you have expectations starting working with us before you started?
Honestly, I didn't really have any expectations. I didn't really have like any expectations. I didn't really like. I kind of knew what I was getting into from what my mom told me. Like I knew like you guys were like this talk show, like you guys were like this like old school talk show, and I think that's all she told me. I didn't really know I didn't exactly know what I was gonna get into.
But I have to tell you, you get better and better as you work with us longer and longer. I mean, you're incredibly talented. I think you're ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous. I would.
You draw with both hands?
You use both hands.
Well, I'm actually I'm actually more of a lefty.
But then you eat with your right.
Oh, I do.
She never noticed
I
that.
watched you today. You draw with your left, but you eat with your right, which I find it's kind of cool. Do you ever draw with your right?
I've tried. Never
Not the
again.
same. But you eat with your right hand and you draw with your left.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I'm going to give you a secret.
So she can draw and eat at the same time.
Exactly.
So I'm going to give you a secret mission. I want you to tell your mom to come bring the book so we can put it on the set. And then I want you to use your phone or your camera, whatever you want. And I want you to give me some B-roll of where she sets it. Because your mother has different places that she sets up her show, a piece.
Yeah, she usually like she usually does like live stream. She does like live streams of her like exercising,
Yeah.
like one of those like fitness videos.
Yeah,
you see.
she has a garage. She has another place, and then she has a living room all of a sudden.
Yep.
And you have a dog.
Yes, I do have a
And the
dog.
dog gets in the way sometimes. It's hilarious.
I know, right? Oh
So-
my god.
So I want you to do some B-roll without her knowing. So when she comes to interview, we'll show her setting up. Because I hear through the grapevine, it's hilarious. She told somebody how funny it is when she sets up to do these things, which you probably have something to do with.
Well, I don't really get involved. I don't really get like involved in her live
Who holds the
streams.
camera?
Okay, so when she's doing her live streams, like when she's like doing like lunch walks, for example, I'm usually the one who's like holding like the phone. But if it's like something like her live streams, some of her live streams she does in the garage, or
Who turns it on and off?
oh no, she does.
So she turns it on and runs to the front of the camera?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does she?
Yes.
I've
She
never
turns
seen
it
the
on. You
beginning.
can see her bending over, and then she sets it, and then she runs, and she sits down. Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yes. That's
That's
exactly
what I
what she
want.
does.
That's hilarious.
Oh my god, you should have seen the. Oh my god, you guys should have seen the time where like she was doing a live and our dog was like butt scooting in front of the camera, all across the camera.
It's
I
hilarious.
know,
And you
no.
do it again. You just asked me if one of our producers was coming in, and she texts me she'll be in on Thursday.
Yeah, but I thought she's coming today.
Everyone's schedule's changed.
I have no idea. Okay.
Everyone's schedule has been
good.
changing,
Not a
so you
problem.
do it again
Until you get it right.
until you get it right. All right, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about women in finance because that seems to be coming forward more and more and more. So stay tuned. Quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Amy Reshevsky can help you choose the right piece that will add some magic to your space. Amy Reshevsky has a wide range of art, from abstracts to mosaic tapestries, and she paints on different surfaces, such as reverse painting on glass, tables, wall hangings, and sculptures. Her work can be ordered online at amyreshevsky.com, or you can come in and see it in real time at the Brooklyn Cafe Art Gallery. She also does commission work, so if you have an idea in mind, she can make it a reality. She invites you to reach out to her at Facebook or at email at amyreshevsky@gmail.com. That's amyreshevsky@gmail.com. Have an artful day. Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Even though some things are far away, we plan for them ahead of time because they're important. When it comes to your celebration of life, it's really no different. You want to plan ahead now so your family doesn't have to later, and create a service that reflects your values, character, and traditions, no matter what they may be. At Dignity Memorial, we listen to every detail and make sure everyone is remembered.
Breathing through my troubles, trying to be smart, living with another, passion in my heart, partners come and go, always with a twirl.
Providing music you will enjoy. JM Production performers will brighten up your stage. Condominiums and residential communities, nightclubs and restaurants that want to provide top quality singers and entertainers for their social events, banquets, celebrations, and their customers use JM Productions to ensure that they have an uplifting and beautiful event. Now, tune in for the show.
Dancing for my life.
Welcome to Sunshine Senior Solutions, a trusted medical supply company that puts patients first, offering quality home medical equipment and supplies. Sunshine Senior Solutions is here to help simplify the lives of patients, caregivers, and their families. From canes and crutches to diabetic glucose monitors, your health, safety, and comfort is our #1 priority. Call or visit our website, Sunshine Senior Solutions, bringing the heart back to healthcare.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back. I just want to apologize that something occurred to the artist that we were going to have in. We're going to try to reschedule that because I know some people are asking, where's the artist? We'll reschedule it. Something happened on his end, and we will try to find out as soon as we can.
We'll bring it back. This segment of the show brought to you by Dr. THC, Dr. Taylor's Holistic Community.
This portion of the Brooklyn Cafe is brought to you by Dr. Taylor's Holistic Community. Needing a reset back to zero, Dr. Taylor's here to assist you out of that slump, to remove the clutter from your life, to stay connected to your environment. Just don't take my word for it.
It is important to stay connected and have a community. If you need one, we are here for you. Dr. Taylor's Holistic Community, we always have your back.
You know, it's really interesting because Dr. Taylor, I'm attached to her Facebook. She gets a lot of people asking questions through Facebook about things that she's got to talk to people privately about. I'm really surprised, very happy about it.
Now I'm looking at this podcast, How to Break Your Anxiety Habit. Here's 10% happier. If you could be 10% happier every day, just a little bit happier, right? It doesn't mean you wake up and say, okay, today I'm going to be joyous and I'm going to be dancing around, because sometimes it's hard to get from a bad state of anxiety and depression up to the highest highs of happiness. But if you could just make a little shift, a little zhuzh every day.
A little zhuzh?
Zhuzh. Just zhuzh. I can't explain what a zhuzh is. It's just a zhuzh.
You got to take a slick pill.
Just one little step. 10%. If you can just shift your perspective 10% a day, very little bit. Can you imagine how happy you could be at the end of it if you could just make one little turn in that direction?
You need a slick pill.
It's reducing anxiety, whatever it takes to reduce anxiety. Like today, I had a doctor's appointment scheduled. I knew it was about a 1-minute conversation I had to have with the doctor. So I had the incredible opportunity to do it virtually on a telemedicine call.
I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense to me.
To
but
me,
go ahead.
it saved me 20 minutes from driving to the doctor, 10 minutes of checking in, another 10 to 15 minutes waiting for him for a minute conversation to drive back for another 20. So an hour of my time, yet I could do it right here. It increased my happiness, it decreased my anxiety, and it all got taken care of.
Okay, now, when you go see the doctor.
If it were an incredible emergency, it would be different. This was like a follow-up. So it was okay. This was just a little tweak in some things.
This is the Dawn Spinaruni.
No, yesterday I had to go. Women's History Month. Yesterday I had to go. I'm 100% open. I had to go for a mammogram and an ultrasound. I had to physically go there to do that. But as we talk about Women's History Month and empowering women, like behind us, and the next segment we're going to have, as women and as men, there are certain things we need to do to care for our health. And that is one of the things you should go for annually, are your breast exams, just like men should go for their annual exams as well. Whatever they're checking out, right? Difference. But you got to go to do certain things. You just got to, there are certain things as an empowered woman or a non-empowered woman, you still have to do for preventative health. And here's the interesting thing they told me. You're not even going to believe this, but I'm going to talk to Claudia because she's going to understand. All right. I had to go for a mammogram and an ultrasound.
Yes.
They told me that if I go for both at the same time, my insurance will pay more of it than if I separate it. If I go for one and then go back for the second, it's going to cost me 3 times as much as if I go for both on the same day.
Your insurance company thanks you.
It's ridiculous.
It's not.
Why?
Because they have to reset the gizmo to do each thing.
No, you know what they tell me? This is just so ridiculous to me. And the hospital was amazing. The techs were incredible, and it was fantastic. If I go for the mammogram and they read it and say, even if everything's okay, we want you to have this other preventative test of an ultrasound, come back, it's going to cost me 3 times as much. If I do them both on the same day, it's considered preventative screening.
It is.
So I said to the tech yesterday, the second tech, does everyone come in and do both of them at the same time?
He said no.
And she said no.
Of course not. It's a
And I
business.
said, but why? This does not make any sense to me. And she said, depending on whether you're at an outpatient facility, a hospital, different insurance companies have different, I'm shocked.
This is why you and I are here, and she's like this.
Yeah, like you never like.
Shocked.
I go in and what is it? The situation.
You need a mic.
I gotta tell you. I gotta tell you something. What's the situation?
The situation I had today, like she will have to go back.
Your mom has to go
Yeah,
back.
so they just gave her something just to see how it is, but they
Well,
just.
this is my point. I go see Dr. Slick.
Mhm.
I go see him. And I will tell Dr. Slick things that have been bothering me. Like, you know, I got pain here, it comes up, I get up, and this hurts, and over here. That's in person. When you do this telemedicine thing, can we get this over with? I gotta go and do something else. Yes, I'm fine. Everything's fine. The hell are you calling me for if everything's fine?
Because I have to have these routine checkups. So it worked out great.
But hold on a second. But I want you to physically go.
Why?
Because I think that the true meaning of you going will illustrate things that need to be taken care of.
I've been doing enough doctor's visits the past couple of weeks. I'm good. But it's interesting how you can eliminate anxiety, and that is exactly what Dr. Taylor does. Taylor's Holistic Community, she also works in the space of THC and CBD. She does not prescribe it, but she does help you regulate and know that there are different psychedelics that may help you deal with anxiety and different things, and she will help you alter that. Some people just call because they need help getting through the day, and she is always there to help. So you can check out Dr. Taylor's Holistic Community at drthc.net and check all of that out.
It's like that show, you know, Call a Friend, Lifeline.
She is like a life coach to call a friend, 100%. Call a friend.
Call a friend. It's funny, my doctor, Dr. Hare, says to me, Frederico, are you coming to see me? I says, do you miss me?
And you go, no, I'm not coming in.
No, I go, do you miss me? Do you need to see me?
Yes.
He says, well, I would like to see you. I go, do you need to talk about something, Doc? And he starts to laugh. He says, no, you're the patient. I says, I could be the doctor. And we had like this relationship. He's the one that says, if you feel good, don't come in. But now that he sees my sugar, he says, I want to see you ASAP.
See, you're funny though, because when I see doctors come around you, you have a whole different persona than I do. I'm quiet, I kind of listen. You go full out and you tell them stories. My dad will tell you his medical history from the time he was 7 until the time he is now at 82.
Because I was taught that you should tell your doctor what's on your mind.
Every doctor?
Every doctor.
That's interesting.
And so he says to me, I want you to take this pill. And I go to him, no, doc, I don't want to take this pill. Why should I take this pill? And he says, I want you to take this pill because it's going to help you with I go, what are the side effects? Well, I'm sorry, I'm not taking that pill.
I know. I love the side effects when it says you should not take this if you're allergic to this medication. How do you know if you're allergic to the medication until you take the medication?
Or it says may cause death.
May cause death or complications.
It says may cause death.
Ever notice everything causes certain symptoms?
Something.
And do not take if you are allergic. And I always think, how would you know if you're allergic unless you take it?
This medicine will cure your acne, but it will kill you for all of your bodily functions.
You and I have so digressed.
It's the worst.
This is anxiety.
It's not. It's just
Contact Dr. Hilly to help with your anxiety as well.
She's phone a friend. Doc, can I take this pill? She'll tell you the yes and no's, CBD, the whole 9 yards, how to do it correctly and why, and everything else.
Yep, so we'll have to bring her in this week. But if you have any questions, you can always contact her. You can find her on social media at Dr. Taylor's Holistic Community, Dr. THC. I'm excited for our next segment. Our 12 o'clock, as Freddie mentioned, he got tied up, so he did not make it in, but an incredible artist, a grand opening of a gallery, so maybe we'll be able to share that information tomorrow on the gallery that is opening. But today it's really important, and we actually have a clip, not about these ladies, but of something that you and I have talked about for years and years, women in finance. And why it is so important for women to take control of their finances, to understand what's going on in the household, whether you're a single household, a single parent, dual income household, whatever it is, you should really be aware of it and gain that independence as a woman for thought going forward of what's important to you.
That's right. Is that cute? Do you have it queued up?
You have that queued up? All right, so let's.
Women are investing now more than ever.
More than 2/3 of women are now investing outside of their retirement and emergency savings. When women invest, they see results. In fact, on average, we're seeing that they earn a higher return than their male counterparts. We've all got to start saying and doing investing like a woman. It works.
We spoke with the head of women investors at Fidelity Investments, Lorna Capusta, to learn what makes women successful investors, and it starts with joining the money conversation.
What we're still hearing is that women are not comfortable with the level of knowledge when it comes to investing, and oftentimes they think about investing as stock picking when it doesn't need to be.
So she says do the research, consult a financial advisor, or check out virtual options.
Join our Women Talk Money discussion series every month. We jump on Zoom and we cover money topics such as saving, investing, the financial aspects of caregiving, as well as many other topics. And you don't need to be a Fidelity customer to join, and that's at fidelity.com/womeninvest.
Next, stick with your investment plan.
Those women who are doing it well, they kind of take a buy and hold approach versus what I would say is like making a rash or emotional move of buying and selling. In fact, what we saw when we looked at men versus women investing over a 10-year horizon, which you have during that time ups and downs, on average, men were buying and selling at 2 times a greater rate, where women were sticking with their plan, and it's paying off for them.
Finally, invest consistently.
So what we're seeing for these women who are doing well, they're taking money out of every paycheck or on a quarterly basis and continuing to invest. And so they're not trying to time the market.
And it doesn't have to be large chunks of money.
If you have your retirement savings in order, so aim to contribute about 15% to your retirement plan, and that can include a company match, and you have an emergency savings that covers 3 to 6 months of expenses. Anything in addition to that, you should be looking at options to invest that money. And you can start very small. And in fact, starting small and continuing to be consistent over time is kind of the key to the opportunity for the future.
Watching our wallets grow by learning investment tips.
And we're back.
And we're back. So this is not exactly what we're talking about today because we're not talking about old school financing, but this was just sort of to get your appetite and your brain teased a little bit of why it's important for women to invest and know their finances. We've got
Good idea.
two great ladies joining us. We've got Christine Curran of WEMP Token, the creator, and of course, Dining Divas. She's been here with us a few weeks ago. And we talked about bringing forward a women in finance piece. And for years, this has eluded us for whatever reason, compliance issues, investing issues. And now I spoke to Claudia. We've got Claudia at Pimentel as well. And maybe the reason it has eluded us is because we don't want to talk about traditional investing for women. We want to talk about what's next, what's cutting edge, and bring this forward to all of our viewers and listeners. So I'm excited to bring this because there are so many things. This is right up Gio's alley also. There's an encrypted email site that you can use. From what Claudia tells me, apparently all the emails that we use are not encrypted so people can get into them, which is interesting.
It is interesting. Not only is it interesting, but it seems to be catching a wave in the different ways. You know, we talked about this the last time, right?
So let's bring the ladies over. We got Christine and Claudia joining us.
Thanks for having us back.
It is absolutely our pleasure.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
Wow.
The wave you were talking about.
Oh, the wave, yes. And so all of a sudden, different things, like you could put art. I met an artist that actually left a piece at the radio station, and it's an
NFT.
That thing. And it has a code on it, so you can use your phone and you can buy in. And the way I see, the part that I was missing is as that art goes up in value, you get to share in the profits of it, even though you don't have it.
Right.
And I was shocked.
So they have a smart contract attached to them, and
Correct.
you can create the smart contract just like the cryptocurrencies to have all these different features in it as profit sharing. So as it gets sold again and again, you can continue to collect in that profit sharing, which is just wild.
There are so many things. I want you to introduce Claudia because the two of you work together in this cryptocurrency space. What is Winning Through Faith?
Oh, that is my LLC. And one morning I had an epiphany that I was winning through the faith of God, and that's what I named my company. And I'm here to educate and help enrich lives and help those develop into their divine purpose and what they're really truly here for.
Amen to that.
Yes.
All in about that as well.
Absolutely. And through crypto, this is the biggest opportunity out here, especially with women and just anyone. The opportunity is endless. There's so many things going on right now with crypto and how you are able to invest, even with your property, with real estate. The potential is ongoing, and it's a shame for individuals just to sit back and let it pass by. So we're here to spread the news and really empower individuals.
I feel like we almost have to start with back to basics on the crypto, because we throw crypto out, and you and I've been talking crypto with different people for years, and we're still thinking, huh? So can we go back to basics as far as what we should be looking for, and do women look for different things than men when it comes to investing in finances?
I would like to say so. I think so. And I think that's just the mind, the different mindsets, I mean, as a female, I look for different projects than maybe the typical male would. I'm interested in fashion, so I'm looking at fashion, what's going on in that nature, something to empower other women. I think a male would maybe look for sports, something with sports, or
like the esports,
car
gaming,
enthusiasts.
cryptos, and all those
Correct.
Things, yeah.
So there's different avenues like I said, it's just very endless, and you just have to really start educating yourself. That's the key, is to go ahead, get yourself educated to understand the basics, to understand what a wallet is, to understand that these are projects. They're not tangible coins that you hold, or tokens. It's a project. And you have to really take a look to see what is the purpose of the project.
All right, so what is a wallet? I know he laughed because we were talking last week. I hated Velcro wallets. I would never date a guy with a Velcro wallet. So we're not discussing Velcro wallets.
Me neither.
See? He said that was a game changer, like 100% game changer. I heard that. Done. They used to at some point. You're a lot younger than I am, honey.
That was like the early 90s, right?
Right.
Yes. So what is a wallet in the crypto space?
Well, in the crypto space, it's just like you have a wallet, like your tangible wallet that you put, you know, in your pocket. Well, you have this in the crypto world, in space, sort of, in the blockchain.
Digital wallet.
A digital wallet.
Okay.
And you're going to be holding your tokens, which is your assets, in there. And you'll have a 12-word seed phrase. That is your security, and no one can get into it. No one can touch it, only you. So we tell everyone, make sure you save those key phrases.
Don't give it to anybody.
Don't give it to anyone, and don't lose them, because they're very important. If you do, you'll be locked out of your wallet.
Did you hear that story about the guy that had like, I don't know, millions of dollars
Yes.
in Bitcoin, and he lost his
lost
seed
his-
phrase? And he was like trying to go through the garbage or something because he had it somewhere on a piece
Yes,
of paper.
it's you know, there's a lot of individuals that's happened to. They misplaced
It's like a
it.
bearer bond. If you
Right.
whoever owns it, whoever has it owns it, correct?
Correct.
Because there's been lots of stories where people misplace them and other people show up with them. We're not going to get into that. But I wanted to ask, so I think I understand this whole thing. So if this painting goes and people come in and they can buy in, and it sits here, okay, and if 100 people buy in for $10,000, for argument's sake, to keep the numbers round, and this thing begins to go up in value because people are buying into it, and we're going to display it and everything else. People want to bid on it. Eventually, what happens to this thing if 100 people own it?
So you're saying, I don't know, and I'm sure I'm not that big in the NFT world, but you're saying for people who are all invested into one NFT.
Correct.
Because a lot of times they'll make like 10,000 NFTs, and
Oh.
maybe one of them will be a special one or something, but
Okay.
you'll own your own NFT. So you'll own one of 10,000.
Oh, I didn't know
versus
that.
a bunch of people going
Okay.
into one project.
Well, then
which
this
they
makes
do
more
that in the art
sense.
world now. You can actually invest in like a stock in paintings in the art world now, and so you own a piece of a Picasso.
That's why
That's a little different, yeah.
They brought it in here because Amy was asking me, and I'm not sophisticated enough, but she wants to get involved in it. Baseball players are doing it.
But that's different than the cryptocurrency.
So the NFTs, let's say there's 10,000 of that painting made, and you own one of 10,000, right? Sometimes there's one of one. Sometimes there's one of 100 of these different art pieces or these weird character, cartoon-looking things that they're doing, the apes and the dragons and the
Right.
I haven't
They
gotten
have
into
all
any
sorts
of
of
the-
things. They mutated.
I understand it, but I haven't gotten so far into it. Although there is a group called Boss Babes, or what is it? Something that they're doing
Boss
NFTs
Babes.
with all the different
Boss
women,
Babes.
which is similar to what we're trying to do with WIMP. We haven't started our NFT project yet, but it's on our roadmap to do that. So we're working on that
And
soon.
they can use your coin to buy in
The
your
NFT,
program?
well, you can purchase the NFT. It would be minted on our on our coin. You can mint it on the token, or
Right.
you can mint it on a blockchain per se. And then we haven't, like I said, we haven't started it yet, but those are all things that we're researching on which way we want to go. There's so many avenues,
So
and
many
it's
avenues.
overwhelming.
And if we
So there's
start
like-
with a wallet, is
Well,
there-
there's two ways with the NFTs.
Yeah.
A lot of NFTs are, like she was saying, one of one. And then you have projects. And some of the projects are more of, you need to have this NFT in order to be included in the community. And the community gives you an entrance, either to their metaverse, or they're having private parties, or they're having masterminds, or you're in the Cool Kids Club, pretty much.
The NFT has
It
utility.
gives you,
That's
it has a utility, so it gives you access.
it gives you like a private pass to events and networking if
Correct.
you're part of this community.
So you're buying a membership, but you get a cool piece of artwork with it, kind of, almost. On
There it
some
is.
of them. Some of them are
Some
like
of
that.
them are like
As
that.
far as the education, though, the wallet, Are there different? So right
she
now,
really wants to know about this wallet.
Okay.
well, no, I
Wallet.
want not
Well,
me,
there's
but
different
I want,
wallets.
I want people that are listening to go back
Yeah,
to
to
like the
basics.
basics of
No,
what we
absolutely.
started. Freddie
There's
wants an
different
NFT
wallets.
so badly. He loves the NFT.
I like wallets too.
You like wallets. You like
You like
having
money
crypto.
in the wallets.
I like money in the-
Exactly.
I
So I
know-
want to put money in our crypto digital wallet. I want people to understand the back to basics of what this is.
Okay, so you have your crypto digital wallet. There's multiple wallets available, so you would have to really do your own due diligence to see which one would benefit you the most. A lot of the wallets offer staking, and well, this is an entirely different subject, but this goes into farming and staking. And the easiest way to compare that is to the bank. You pick the bank you want to bank with. Why? Because they give you the most, the best APR return. If they do banks even give you an APY anymore? I don't even think so. What, like 1%?
1%. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no. So, so you have your digital wallet, and a lot of these wallets, they offer an annual percentage rate for you to hold your tokens there. For instance, there's one wallet called Exodus, which I personally have. I hold some different tokens, which are different projects like Cardano. I have EXP, just XRP, excuse me, and some other tokens. Now, for me to hold my tokens in that wallet, they're giving me a percentage in return. One of the tokens, I think it's like at a 13% return.
Really?
Yeah,
Now, do they give that to you in the token or in a different currency?
in the token. So it's coming to
Really?
you in the token. So, I mean, there's
No,
no
it's
bank
different
out
than
there.
banks, though, because we always say banks, all the money that we all have in banks, it's not really liquid money, but the bank is leveraging what's there for other
Exactly, yeah.
projects.
That's
now,
right.
does this digital bank leverage your tokens as currency?
The value of
the
the
value of it?
Not
So
really,
why are they
because-
taking a percentage?
They don't
It's just a
trade. They don't
management?
trade. They use it for liquidity. That's what they're doing. They're holding it in the liquidity to bring the price up with the value of the token. So
That's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole different
Liquidity is
conversation.
Like, it took me a long time to even start to process to understand how that all works and arbitrage and balance between the different exchanges. It's a lot. But
So it raises the value and awareness, like your coin. If you got more
Right.
people putting into it, the value and
sure,
awareness of it.
just
the
like
more
a
people-
stock, kind
but
of.
they don't
that
use
kind of
it.
feel.
Well,
Now-
that's like traditional banking, though. Traditional banking, they use your money. They're leveraging your money on the foreign exchange market.
Yeah.
So they have a group of traders trading our money a day in and day out, and they're making money off your money while
You know,
it's sitting
think about
there.
that. Can you imagine any other business other than a bank that leverages money in an account? They call that,
Loan sharking.
they call it loan sharking. They call it stealing.
legal way.
The legal way, right.
They call it a lot of things
Just
that,
an FYI,
embezzlement.
we're going to use your money.
If I put it in
to
a
make
bank,
money.
Even for the government, they do it.
but it's for a bank. It's okay to use other people's
How do you
money.
think credit cards started? It was a loan sharking. Would you say that a cash app is a wallet?
Cash App?
Cash App.
It
This-
can be.
It
I
can
mean, if you
be.
hold money there,
They're
sure.
holding my Bitcoin.
Yes.
PayPal. I mean, there's all
And Cash
different-
App, you can buy Bitcoin.
But they don't. Yeah, but they don't give me nothing.
No.
Exactly.
So I got to go where you going because
So
1% is better than 0%.
There's a lot of different ways that the cryptos do that. So there's what she's talking about, and then like with WIMP, we actually give back a percent to holders. So people that hold our token, every time there's a buy sale, there's a tax. And so that tax, we have a reflection that goes into your wallet. So as long as you're holding, you're always accumulating more tokens in WIMP. At the same time, we're deflationary, so we're burning tokens. So you're getting more tokens for holding, and we're losing more tokens in our overall supply to make the value go up.
And that's all inside the package when you buy in?
Huh?
So
It's
if
all
you're
in the
buying
package?
WIMP, all of this is included. He wants to know.
Yeah, there's a white paper, so it's called white paper that you can go read all the tokenomics and understand how
Tokenomics.
each token works. And so we've learned a few things along the way that I think have been very valuable. We have like all of our sales tax, buying sales tax in a different currency, so it doesn't hurt our charts when we pull money for marketing out of the tax money. We actually take it out of BNB instead of WIMP. So now no longer are we hurting our charts or affecting our charts by taking funds out for things that we need. So like a lot of really cool things that you can do in crypto that you can't do in the real world.
And you were telling me that there's some funding going on in the Ukraine through crypto.
Correct. So so they are actually, they were receiving donations in Bitcoin so they could buy supplies for their army.
That's incredible.
Right, because the banks were shut down there. They were pretty much cut off from that area, so they were able to receive donations from Bitcoin. Another industry that really stepped up and to help was Airbnb. You know, not everyone had homes, but they started to put homes up for Airbnb, and it was a donation. So you can go ahead and rent a place out in the Ukraine right now for Airbnb and just pay, and they receive the money in real time.
So will that money, though, go to someone in need? Will it go to humanitarian efforts, or does it go to the person that owns the house and they keep it?
Well, it'll go towards the person that owns the house that went ahead and put the listing. From what I'm gathering, there's been a couple of individuals that they're there, and I think their home got bombed. So I don't even think the home really exists anymore.
Oh, so it's going to help them
but
rebuild.
they're helping them
Oh, okay.
to facilitate.
That's so cool.
I thought it was amazing. It just goes to show how you have to think outside of the box, you know, and a lot of people just may have thought like these things are not possible, but here we are in the 20th century. It is possible.
It just goes to show that we can do things as as a community, as a world, without the government attached to it. Is what it is, you know.
And I think that scares a lot of people. We were talking this morning on the politics and non-politics, no matter what side you're on. We were founded on freedoms and representation of the people. You can be left, right, in the middle, green, blue, or purple. But we should all come together as a people to help do this. And there's choice and investment.
No, absolutely. I think it's very important. And the best thing about this all is that we were able to team up with a elite academy, IM Academy, and through their educational platform, we've been able to learn what is Bitcoin, what is a wallet, how do we look at charts, how do we be able to look at charts and see the trend of the market. And all of these things are so important because once you start learning this information, your mindset changes. Absolutely, 100%, because you're open to explore new information, and then everything starts to make sense.
You know, it's funny because I think we're pretty open to new information on our set and what we do. And then I leave our yellow walls, and the rest of the world is like, you don't know what you're talking about, and this one's... And I think, wow, you should really be part of our community and listen to our show, because I think we share a lot of great information. Whether you choose to like it or not, you will learn.
Yeah, but you don't have to worry about that because it doesn't matter what they think they know. You see, I mean, think about it. It really doesn't matter. What they think is none of my business. You want to say I'm wrong? Okay. But I can see a marketing deal going great with this. So our coffee is going to be put on displays, and I'm going to take it out to 20 stores. Even Bravo wants it. Okay. You want to buy it with Bitcoin?
WEMP?
Why not?
Absolutely.
Well, the cool thing is with the cryptos is that no matter whether it's just an altcoin or whatever, you can always trade it in and get USD cash. So it's all still cash. Like, no matter how you look at it, you're going to pay a little fees to trade it out, but if it's on certain, Solana or BNB, the fees are low or none. So, it just depends on what you're trading. Ethereum's high right now, but hopefully the new Ethereum 2.0 will crush the gas fees. But, you can just trade it out for USD, and you can trade it to another coin. You can trade it into 5 different coins. You can go from coin to coin to coin. So it's wild. So there's like these pairing, and I'm sure she can explain it much better because we didn't do the introduction, but Claudia is actually our head of educational resources for WEMP, and she is a huge part of the IM Global Academy, which is a global learning program for crypto. They do a bunch of different things such as trading as well, Forex and stuff, but they have an academy just for crypto, which is really, really cool. So she's definitely.
And you have videos also that people can watch to learn more about this.
Absolutely. So they have videos. They have over 150 educators that they're teaching real time, a calendar where you can just pick and choose to your schedule. And the educators are going in on just speaking about what's important, what projects to really start looking out for, what's going on globally in the news. What would benefit you the most. And like I said, it's just once you start learning this information, then you're actually able to make an educated investment in yourself pretty much, because right now, crypto is here to stay. Newsflash. And it's just a newsflash. Like, there's credit cards, Visa's incorporating crypto, the big banks are incorporating crypto. They're already rolling out the plans to start teaching their owners, savings bank owners and everyone with crypto information. The real estate is booming right now, even with crypto, where you're able to NFT your own home. So now you're able to have different parcels of your own home in the NFT world, like we were discussing, 1 of 100. Okay, so you can have your home in an NFT and have 100 for that one home, right? So they're coming up with different ways where you don't have to have enough just to buy the entire house. Now you
Just
can
need a piece.
own a piece and benefit from that.
But think about that. I bought a house for $120,000. I just sold that house for $2.4 million.
Yes.
Everybody that was part of that deal is making some money.
Exactly. So
And they didn't
everyone
do
gets to
anything.
eat.
Not only that, but it also shows
Exactly.
ownership. So
Yes.
instead of having like a piece of paper saying that you have the deed to the house, it is on the blockchain and you have that accessible at all times. You don't have to like, oh, I lost the paper and you're trying to find this and that, which has happened to a lot of people. I know there was a story recently in the news about somebody stealing someone's deed and forging it and all the kinds of stuff. So you can't do that on the blockchain. It's a lot tougher.
We were actually offered an opportunity, I need to follow up with them, to be the first live
California.
talk show on the blockchain. It's a new company that is launching, I want to say out of California.
exciting.
San Francisco.
That's cool.
Exciting.
And they're
Gotta get this
looking,
one involved with
and
you.
they're looking to she posted, I have to check in with her. They asked if we would be interested in doing it as the platform that we use because they haven't done this yet. So that could be really exciting.
They're
Imagine
working the
combining
back-
that
and
with.
they're working the back end. I says, you ain't got to work the back end. Just tell me when and let's go because we have it built
Would
already.
we be interested? Sign us up.
I said, let's do this.
Absolutely.
Right, and then we're going to sign and bring WEMP right along with us because everything we talk about is women empowerment and education.
I love
It's
it.
crucial. It's very important. And I think that women just have to get out of their comfort zone and get out of the box that everyone tends to put women in. Stay in your lane. No, the lanes are for everyone.
Well, I feel
Create
like you
your
guys
lane.
are younger than you
Create
guys are
your
younger
lane.
than me, and they're younger. So your younger age demographic, I think, is more open and understanding of what it is as a whole, and their generation for sure. But it's, is it okay? My spouse doesn't agree with me. Do I have the money? This piece that we saw said you should have 3 months of a security, right, put away.
Right.
You should be able to put X amount away from your savings or 15% into your retirement. And then after that, go ahead and invest. This way, it's not compromising your mortgage. It's not compromising your food. It's not compromising raising your children. But above and beyond that, even a little bit. So crypto means you can buy increments of, right? Not many people are buying full Bitcoins or full tokens.
But they
Right.
can't afford
You can
it.
buy pieces of as an investment and it grows.
Right, you could do a cost average. So you can do a reoccurring buy weekly, which with the fluctuation of Bitcoin, ultimately you're cost averaging. And I mean, Bitcoin's the #1 producing asset in the last 10 years. There's no other
fascinating.
asset that has produced, it's #1. Anyone that invested in Bitcoin 10 years ago, you're winning.
You're doing very well.
Remember, last year Bitcoin was at 20 grand, $20,000, right? We're at 41,000, I believe, right now.
Yeah, you're doing
Okay,
very well.
so it's not a get rich overnight scheme. It's investment for yourself and seeing the big picture. That's where the times are going. It's inevitable. It's here.
It's really funny because when I started streaming 13 years ago, people laughed at me. I took it to Major League Baseball and football, and they told me nobody watches sports on your phone. This is going back 13, 14, 15 years ago. And look at it now. It took the virus for people to learn how to use Zoom. And now everybody's using Zoom until they got hacked, and then you have to find other ways of getting around
Google
that.
Meet.
But think about
At a
this.
necessity, right?
If we had jumped on this when it first came out, first of all, you have to understand it because it's so different. And then you market it, women, different venues to it because you want that to grow. I mean, seriously?
It's growing the community. And that's the other part that I love what you ladies are doing. It's not just one woman or one man investing and saying, oh my gosh, I have to figure this out. You have educational pieces in building a community where it's Q&A. Just like anything else we do, you have to learn about it as you go through it. And I love that you have all of those pieces put together.
Yeah, it is. It's all about community in crypto, 100%.
And WEMP as well.
Yes.
Or you have a one-stop shop.
Yeah, helping people understand it. Like just in our Telegram alone, somebody comes in, they're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Everybody jumps on to try to help the person. It's amazing. It's just such a great vibe, and everybody wants to help educate everybody. This is a like always evolving industry. Like none of us know everything about crypto. I mean, even some of the top people, like they're still always learning because there's so much new advancement happening on a daily basis. You can't possibly know everything about the crypto markets, the NFT side of things, the metaverse. There's just too much for any one person to know. So it has to be like everyone assisting each other and talking and keeping the conversation going and talking and exchanging information all the time in order for you to continue to learn.
And the good thing is that her program has pockets to grow into.
You just had a relaunch, I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago.
Yeah, on Binance.
And how did that go?
Awesome. It's doing great. We're super happy there. Ethereum just had 2 high gas fees right now, and it definitely held us back from getting a lot of new holders, even though we had an amazing first launch. But definitely Binance has opened a lot of doors for new holders to come in that can afford it. And
How do people buy it if they want it?
Pancake Swap, Bitmart, that's where we're at right now. So Pancake Swap is the decentralized exchange, and then Bitmart is the one that we paid for to be on. That's a centralized exchange.
All right, back to basics again. What?
What's a wallet? Velcro.
You can explain it.
Like what's the difference? One is decentralized and one is, and I wanted to ask if now banks are getting involved in this, right? The whole big
So
premise behind
centralized
this
is
was
just-
we didn't want regulation on this, but
Right.
now banks and government are, so now is it going to be regulated? Are we back to regular financing?
Right now, they're still deciding what they're going to be doing, so I'm not sure. I don't have an answer for that. But the decentralized is just where the banks, it's not centralized, so the banks have no control. The government doesn't have control over. Now, one of the best things that I do enjoy with WEMP is that we actually have an app where, as a community, everyone's there to collaborate. So we have different rooms in there where you can post your business. We're always encouraging everyone to post what they're doing. How can we help? How can we empower everyone? You know, my focus is on the crypto, but, you know, as a realtor as well, and as a mother, there's a lot of information out there that I'm able to share. So if I can help create and help individuals really step out into what's possible, step out into the possibility of creating something for yourself. And with WEMP, I just think it's super amazing, especially with the award show. Tell them about the award show.
Well, yeah, so I think last time we spoke, we were talking about that in order for the crypto to really grow, you need to have utility, right? There has to be something behind it that's going to drive it. So either are you going to be able to use the token for something, which that's the IMAs, the Influential Model Awards, which is the Oscar-style award show we talked about with all the influencers. So that's that. But we're also working on some other utilities right now. We're opening a nonprofit to actually help with so we can actually really help with our mission to help women-supported charities around the globe on a much bigger scale. Because obviously we have the tax from the buy sale that goes into the wallet, but that's a very small amount of money compared to what we could really do if we got big donors through a nonprofit. So we're opening that, and then we also have the incubator program that we're working on currently with Leaf Capital Lending, and they are working on creating a women's fund that would actually help women to scale their businesses, very similar to the Y Combinator. If you're familiar with that program, it's an incubator program that's put out some huge companies. I want to say like Uber and Airbnb and DoorDash, I believe. I could be wrong, but some companies like that. So they come in, they like your idea, they mentor you, they'll even fund you if it makes sense, and they give you all the steps to scale and to a national or global level. So we're working
You
on
can get all this information on the app?
On the app?
On your app?
So these are projects that we're working on right now. I'm actually telling these projects before they come to fruition, but I'm a big believer
Putting it
that
out
if you
there?
put it out there, it will
Absolutely.
happen, because I have done that so many times in my life. So I don't mind talking about it because we are in the works on all these things. We did file for the nonprofit. We are already in talks and working on the white paper for the a business plan, whatever, like crypto and regular business.
Right.
And you get the verbiage mixed up, but business plan for the incubator program. And we've been talking about that for 2 months now. We've been going back and forth with this company, so I'm excited to get on that. But that will be for female entrepreneurs. So the 2 initiatives that are behind WIMP are helping female entrepreneurs and helping women-supported charities. So now we're going to a next level by opening up the nonprofit and the incubator program that's really going to help drive the token too, because people are going to see we're doing this on a big level, so they're going to want to invest.
Yeah, you look at war, you look at Ukraine where we are right now, and the men are there fighting, and the women or children are fleeing. They're in the bomb shelters, they're in the camps, they're crossing the borders, and there's got to be a way. There has to be organizations and foundations that are supporting these women and children.
We are actually this month we are giving our tax money for the charity to Ukraine. So the lady that runs our charity division is Ambra out of Canada, and she's working right now to vet the right charity for that we can.
And there you have it.
Good stuff.
What is the best way to contact? We have so much more to talk about. Oh my gosh. And before we go, Claudia, you have to tell us about this email encryption, because this is, again, really, really important.
Okay. All right, for the email. So most average individual has a Gmail account or Yahoo or anything of that nature. Well, those are free-based emails. They're not encrypted, so it's it's hackable. They've been hacked. Actually, they also delete your emails if your mailbox is too full, or if you've had it too long, it'll start purging. And that actually happened to one of my family members with some stock information, which is gone.
How do you find the encrypted emails?
Okay,
Companies.
so for instance, I use the one that I use is Proton Mail. This was a suggestion that was given to me through the IM Academy with one of the educators. And I use Proton Mail. It's encrypted. I don't have anything to worry about. And it's free, as well as you can pay for the service as well to open up the storage space. So I just suggest, if you have Gmail or anything like that, go ahead, find yourself an encrypted email, and your finances, move them over to an encrypted email.
I'm thinking
100%,
finances. I'm thinking
that's
all the
like the first
content
thing
that
you
we
should be
have
doing.
that belongs not to us, belongs to people, that
Well,
you want to keep that from being hacked.
We're one step ahead. We are actually developing something
Really?
to change that, yeah. Because our Gmail, the AMP 2 Gmails, I have to pay for them now.
Right.
Oh, wow.
You have to pay for them. They're no free anymore.
All right, how do we get in touch with you ladies?
Well, Claudia, I did want you to tell everybody how they can sign up
Yes.
under the WIMP token at IM Global, so we
Okay,
can get
so
people educated. That's
we
the most
can-
important part, right?
Absolutely.
So number one, you can find more information on the WEMP website. Also, we have a Telegram chat, and we also have the app. You can reach out to us, and we have a QR code that would help you go on, and we can set up a Zoom call or an introduction to show you the platform. You're able to join the platform, and it's a lot of information that you need ASAP. It is really a tool that will really help you navigate through all this information that you're just getting it's in bits and pieces right now.
And it's going to be accompanied by the seminar you're going to be doing to explain it. Because my head is already spinning
She's
on this thing.
also a John Maxwell trained coach.
Yeah, well, it makes it easier. The two of them can do this training. You download the app.
There's no doubt.
And all of a sudden,
we have a community. It's not like you're just signing up, you're by yourself. Not at all. There's a community, where there's training, walkthroughs, show you. Hey, I sit down with individuals on a daily basis, showing them how to set up a wallet and so forth. So this is really just helping individuals how to step out of that zone.
What's the best way for people to reach you direct so they can sign up with you?
I would say they can
Your
go
email?
onto my Instagram.
Okay.
And it's Claudia 1 million. They can find me that way and send me a message and I'll reach back out.
Awesome. Perfect. And Christina, for WEMP or for Dining Divas or for all that you do?
Yeah, you can reach me at ChristineCurranTV@gmail, and I'll direct you to the right person if you want to reach me there to get to Claudia or to get to any of the other fun things that we do.
well, everybody knows you.
Just you can find me. All you have to do is Google me.
That's what you got to do. You just
find
look up the
anything in it.
picture and you know where to
You can send
find
a
it.
text as well to 305-209-9266. You can send a note saying crypto me.
Text crypto too.
Text
Exactly.
crypto.
SOS.
So much more information. It's all about educating and bringing women up into any space that they want to feel comfortable in. I love it.
I think it's a great idea, and there's so many other things that we can talk about. I'm serious about the two of them putting a seminar together. You download the app, you let them walk you through it. I see my son play video games in front of 38,000 people.
Isn't that crazy? The gaming
Crazy.
industry
I
is
flipped.
outrageous.
It's out of control.
Yep.
Esports, outrageous. All of it. It's unbelievable.
That's what he does.
That's what he does. He says, Dad, that's nothing. Sometimes I got 120,000. I said, because the little clickers there, it tells you how many people are, and they're talking to each other.
Absolutely, in the metaverse, right? They
Yes.
have the little
what
Oculus
the
glasses.
hell? Anyway,
It's just great
Thank
times.
you so much, Claudia and Christine. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be talking healthcare, wellness, regenerative medicine.
Old friend, new times.
All right. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Mini Donut World, where the donuts are hot, fresh, and delicious, made to order and customizable by you. Gourmet specialty flavors such as apple pie, French toast, campfire, and strawberry cheesecake are always popular. Looking to tailor your appetite? Build your own mini donut. Choose from over 18 flavored donut bases, add on your icing flavor, and choose from over 15 toppings and drizzles. While kids enjoy our design your own kits to take home, our 21 and over customers love our alcohol-infused donuts. Come visit Mini Donut World at 8763 Sterling Road in Cooper City. Have questions or want to place an order? Give us a call at 954-369-2301. We know you will love each bite of our deliciously distinctive mini donuts.
Attention Florida residents. Is constant water damage from the elements putting holes in your pipes and your wallet? We cut the cost when disaster strikes. You deserve to have your house be a home again. At Triumph, we get you paid the most for your insurance claims. Broken pipes, water damage, and mold? Triumph Consulting covers it all. Call our offices now to qualify for a free house inspection at 954-669-4935 or visit www.wegetYouPaid.com.
Do you need a strong cup of coffee to get you through your day? Try your very own Brooklyn Cafe Show coffee, the official coffee of the Brooklyn Cafe Show. You can pick up a bag from us, or two. Contact us at 866-224-5422. Or just stop on by. We're at 2400 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard, Suite 13. Come on in, grab a bag of our signature Brooklyn Cafe coffee. The cafe doors are always open.
Here at the Brooklyn Cafe, our subjects range from hot topics, feel-good stories, and back-in-the-day nostalgia. With guest personalities and business features, you just never know who you'll see on the show. With our brew crew on set, we always air live to inspire, educate, and create. Make it a date and have a day at the cafe. Join Dawn and Freddie every weekday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. and for lunch every weekday from 12 to 2. Amplify your voice. Call us at 866-224-5422 or visit our website at brooklyncafe.tv.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Amy Reshevsky can help you choose the right piece that will add some magic to your space. Amy Reshevsky has a wide range of art, from abstracts to mosaic tapestries, and she paints on different surfaces, such as reverse painting on glass, tables, wall hangings, and sculptures. Her work can be ordered online at amyreshevsky.com, or you can come in and see it in real time at the Brooklyn Cafe Art Gallery. She also does commission work, so if you have an idea in mind, she can make it a reality. She invites you to reach out to her at Facebook, or at email at amyrashevsky@gmail.com. That's amyrashevsky@gmail.com. Have an artful day. Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Even though some things are far away, we plan for them ahead of time because they're important. When it comes to your celebration of life, it's really no different. You want to plan ahead now so your family doesn't have to later, and create a service that reflects your values, character, and traditions, no matter what they may be. At Dignity Memorial, we listen to every detail and make sure everyone is remembered.
Breathing through my troubles, trying to be smart, living with another, passion in my heart, partners come and go, always with a twirl.
Providing music you will enjoy. JM Production performers will brighten up your stage. Condominiums and residential communities, nightclubs and restaurants that want to provide top quality singers and entertainers for their social events, banquets, celebrations, and their customers use JM Productions to ensure that they have an uplifting and beautiful event. Now, tune in for the show.
Welcome to Sunshine Senior Solutions, a trusted medical supply company that puts patients first, offering quality home medical equipment and supplies. Sunshine Senior Solutions is here to help simplify the lives of patients, caregivers, and their families. From canes and crutches to diabetic glucose monitors, your health, safety, and comfort is our #1 priority. Call or visit our website, Sunshine Senior Solutions, bringing the heart back to healthcare.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
We gotta take a double racket commercial.
A lot of conversations. I love it. That was a great piece on finance and women and cryptocurrency.
Now I know why I haven't slept.
Why?
Because when she comes, my phone is blowing up. Everybody's talking about the crypto this and mining this, and all I want to do is I want to highlight it. I want them to do it, highlight it, and let us talk about how your idea is not a bad idea at all.
So we're talking about opening the space to a women's cocktail event and doing it basic here, and then anyone from around the world can join us in virtually.
You see, you're talking about one. I'm talking about multiple.
Well, yeah, we're going to talk. And then we're going to talk about how we can get paid in WEMP token and hold that in our wallet.
I'm going to do a seminar just for the artists. I'm going to bring in 50 artists and let them jump in on this thing.
A lot to do.
Anyway.
I'm excited. Christine, you're awesome. Claudia, pleasure to meet you. I love the financial space for women, to teach them from Crypto 101 all the way up to, heck, I want to buy all of this WEMP token and help the people of the Ukraine, help women organizations. There's so much to do.
Now, I have a little throwback for you. This gentleman that we're going to be talking to, I think it was 4 years ago?
6.
5?
5.
6?
It's been a very long
Has
time.
it?
2017 or 2016.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Had to be 17.
We used to call it the Super Bowl of stem cell. Remember?
Yep.
We went up there. It was just me and you and a bunch of equipment. And I think one kid came in to help me set up.
You hired a guy that you knew from something else.
I knew from nothing. I saw
to
the
watch
guy in the
the
lobby.
equipment. I don't even know. Yes.
And I told him to watch the equipment. And we went up there and wow, the numbers of the stem cell thing that we were doing, you could see in those days there was this needle that used to show the number of people that were watching the episodes. And this needle looked like it was going to blow up because it just turned and turned. we had tremendous numbers. And Joe was up there, and Joe was, he was kind of like in the groove a little bit.
We got Joseph Krieger joining us, founder and president of Boston BioLife. And it was a regenerative, not just a stem cell summit. We talked about everything, and we always laugh about the foreskin episode. So we definitely had the foreskin segment that we went, this is real, this is what, this is, why would you reattach it? I don't know. But that one always stays in everyone's mind. But fantastic to have the opportunity to have Joe with us again.
And we're going to be talking about what Joe is doing currently and what they're going to be doing. He brought a friend also who's doing some stuff. So, gentlemen, welcome to the show. Hold on to your mics.
As we get to
Can you hear us now? Thank you very much for having us, and it's nice to see you guys again. It's been, I think, 5 years since we did the World Stem Cell Summit.
Yep,
somewhat on a whim and somewhat just, you know, build it and they will come. And we did have a tremendous turnout, and we did a very, you know, the funny thing about all the needle spinning around was we didn't know that all these people were watching, and they were all asking questions, and we didn't, because we were up on the platform. And but a lot has changed in the field. I think all for the good. And there's been a lot of lessons learned from COVID and how people have perceived their health and wellness. And that's why I have my partner in crime, Eric Stoller, here. Eric runs a company called Champion Mindset, and we're transitioning Eric's professional development skills that he teaches every ordinary people, business owners, entrepreneurs, et cetera, into really helping healthcare providers be better at presenting themselves, protecting their assets, building wealth and a legacy, so they can do a better job at helping their patients without being, you know, constrained by the governance of managing a business or not being able to communicate effectively and all the challenges that we have in modern medicine today.
That's expanding, and Boston BioLife, you're still doing a lot of summits and a lot of online coursework, because I get all of the emails, and I'm thinking, even through COVID, I think you all expanded because you could do everything virtually.
COVID was very good for Boston BioLife in that we had, we were going to take a little break anyway, so we looked like we were really smart when we didn't have an event planned for the first quarter of 2020. And I remember when everything happened at the end, I was at an event, a naturopathic functional medicine event in Arizona, and I was going to the Perinatal Stem Cell Society meeting. So when I'm not running my own events, I try to help other organizers and coordinators run their events. And people think it's counterintuitive or they're your competitors. And they're really not. They're like-minded people trying to achieve the same objective. And everybody that wanted to do this couldn't train everybody that needs to be trained if we had all the time in the world. I mean, there's literally 100,000 physicians that need to know the nuances of personalized precision health, translational medicine, functional medicine, stem cell science, et cetera. And there's, you know, only hundreds of us, if that.
So you're doing more than the stem cell and the regenerative injectables that we talked so much about a couple years ago.
Yeah, what we learned was that if you don't have the patient properly managed or, you know, in a certain health and wellness orientation, none of the stem cell therapies will work. So personalized precision health and functional medicine really are looking at individual care plan pathways for specific patients. So looking at your genetics, you know, it was 23andMe, where did I come from? But then they realized it's the genomics, like how does that gene express? So like if you looked at COVID, right, so there's certain people that had that ACE2 enzyme on the pneumocyte of the lung cell, and it's like the bouncer at a bar. So if you got a big bouncer, nobody gets in. You got a bad bouncer, everybody gets in. So when the virus knocked on the pneumocyte and says, hey, can I come in? If you don't have a good ACE2 gene, everybody runs in, you get a cytokine storm, you get acute respiratory distress syndrome, and that's what kills you. Right? And a lot of times when they found the immunocompromised patients, they found these correlations. So people began to study more, or have been studying more. Who are the patients? What patient does the disease have? Not what disease does the patient have, because it's very specific. So that was kind of happening anyway, and then COVID really accelerated it. And patients began to take notice of what can I do besides hide under the bed, wear a mask, wash my hands 1,000 times, don't go anywhere, don't see anybody, don't do anything, except for go to the fast food chains, the marijuana store, and the liquor stores, and stay home. Yeah. So it was a good time, I think, in a lot of ways for that. But I think the reality of it is you got to be stronger than the virus. And that's where your immune health comes in. And so all the people that talked about gut health, you know, and everyone laughed at them, and it has nothing to do with it. And now we know that the importance of the gut. We know that the immune system runs everything. It doesn't just protect you from outside invaders. It runs your body. It runs all the elements of your pathophysiology from a chemistry standpoint. Your hormones, your peptides, your digestive system, your neurotransmitters, your blood chemistry are all governed by your immune system in some capacity. So when your body is fighting off systemic inflammation, you hear about inflammaging, and the meeting we're going to be at in Doral in a couple weeks, and hopefully we'll be able to reproduce what we did at the World Stem Cell Summit, is really providing a platform for all these geniuses that have figured out some component of this, a test, a supplement, a behavior, a tool, to come together to say, hey, that's how you treat this type of person, right? So we look at ethnicity, we look at age, we look at comorbidities, we look at other scientific phenomena that we can document one way or another through a test. Say, all right, you're a high metabolizer, you're a low metabolizer, you're a no metabolizer. That's why people have complications from pharmaceuticals, because they're not all the same.
And what's interesting is finding the physicians, and there you are in one great room of finding the physicians to provide the care for functional medicine and personalized precision healthcare, because it's not easy. You go to your regular doctor, you go to your doctor, I go to mine, and they, okay, take this pill. When you have a side effect, we'll take this pill, and you have another one. Well, now you need a third one, and you need a fourth one. What's happening to our seniors? And you say, okay, I know this is happening. Let me find a physician that can help me in a different direction. And finding that provider is where it gets difficult.
Correct.
You're going to have a lot of them
hold
around.
on, Joe, people take the vaccine. People complain about taking the vaccine. From what I'm understanding from you right now, all of us are built differently. So the vaccine may work for some of us and not others. It all depends on your gut health. It depends on what's going on in your body. You see, they don't explain it like that. They go up there and say, everybody take the vaccine and you're going to be okay. Not necessarily so. Is this correct, or am I just hearing?
No, it's absolutely correct. And never in the history of the FDA or in medicine have we accelerated a therapy to be given to the masses so quickly. And it's not all bad. I mean, if you look at the takeaway messages from COVID, we learned that we could mobilize the population quickly. We can change behavior immediately. We can release things through FDA and through pharmacy. These virus companies know how to make viruses. All right, it'd be like going to a company that makes vans, and you want to turn one into a camper van versus it being an electrical truck. All right, they still make vans. They have the chassis, they have the engine. So when you say, can you put this piece of RNA in this nanoparticle, this exosome, and deliver it in a vaccine, there were several companies that were able to do that quickly, because that's what they do. Now, it's typically the red tape, the clinical trials, the phase 1, 2, 3 that make it. And then you have the bad outcomes, right? So if the vaccine was a traditional outcome, we would have looked at all the adverse events and saying, well, what percentage of the total population? And it was still relatively small. The good outweighed the bad, in my opinion, because scientifically we deployed something very complicated that never would have saw the light of day if it weren't for emergency use authorization. How quickly we move through regulatory when there is no FDA. How quickly we can mobilize healthcare providers to behave and patients to accept. So, all in all, it was more beneficial than not, and for more ways than not just COVID. It's for the next thing that comes along. We were able to change behavior. People took more responsibility. They were able to do things either for their own personal health or the health of their family and others. And so, again, I think the unintended consequences, who knew we didn't have to drive to work? Who knew that we could stay home? Who knew that we, all these other benefits that are now benefiting us now when the price of gas goes up? Or, do we really need these buildings? How much time do we waste driving to work? So there's been a lot of nuances that have come to bear because of this. So it's been an interesting learning experience, to say the least, but a great hallmark for medicine in general.
The cytokine storm that you mentioned is something that not everyone's aware of. The inflammation and the things that happen, whether post-COVID or post-vaccine, it's this huge inflammation marker in your body. And you go, what's happening? What are these? In different autoimmune diseases, sometimes people get the different cytokine storms. Tell us about the event that you're going to be at coming up. What are people looking for? Who can come?
So age management is kind of a term, anti-aging, depending upon where you look in history, it's got different connotations for different people. So age management is really looking at age defiance. How do we live longer? How do we live healthier? How do we leverage the assets of nutrition, physical behavior like exercise, diet, nutrition, as well as other therapies, hormone replacement therapy, neurotransmitters, and how do we use those to address the diseases that typically are, that get us, right? So we know that certain people get Alzheimer's, certain people get Parkinson's. All of these diseases have an inflammatory derivative, i.e. they are all, without inflammation, you don't have disease. The inflammation is being driven by the gut. So the age management meeting looks at all the different clinical nuances, but all the technology opportunities available so that they can say, oh, well, these supplements work, or this test can tell me what type of candidate I am. And it's really a think tank for about 500 people to get together at a nice resort to listen to people present their scientific findings, their clinical research, and their experiences, and the vendors to be there to show their wares. And it's, it was primarily naturopathic medicine. Now it's moving more into mainstream. Naturopaths aren't MDs. They're typically chiropractors or non-MDs. They know more about health and wellness and immune health than any MD, because they get the patients that no one treats. And typically they're frontline, like primary care. But you don't go to primary care except for the once a year you're supposed to, unless you have a problem, right? Well, you might go to the chiropractor because your shoulder hurts. My brother had an arrhythmia diagnosed by his dentist because they took his blood pressure. People are doing cancer screening. So where do you go on a regular basis? So people are more likely to go to a chiropractor or a physical therapist than they are to an MD, unless their leg breaks or something. So they've learned over time that, nutrition fixes this and these supplements do this. But those industries really weren't very well developed. So now everyone's developing different strategies along the individual care plan message, like what's my personalized needs, right? And how do I implement that in clinical practice, legally, safely, professionally, in a business manner that makes money and helps my patients. And really, healthy patients equal better outcomes. And I think that that's what people are learning, whether you're an orthopedic surgeon or a GI doctor. And you have, really a patient-centric healthcare model where the patients are the ones that are driving their own care plan pathway. They should be more in charge. I like to say
the business side is interesting, right? You talk business, and the gentleman you brought is talking about the business side of medicine, which is a whole nother side of medicine, right? Physicians, healthcare providers, nurse practitioners, they go to school to help the patient. But then there's this business side and the government regulations. We were talking about my mammogram today. I went for the mammogram and ultrasound. They charged me a third of the price, and if I had gone 2 separate days, 3 times the price if I had divided it. So the business of medicine is totally different.
Yes. I mean, when you think about it, these doctors go to school to learn how to become medical doctors. And they get, many of them have said to me, we get very little business training. And so that's why you see a lot of these MSOs where these groups have, 50 clinics, and they're run by business people, and the doctors are kind of, doing what they do best. And doctors usually, know more than everybody else, so it's a little bit of a challenge. So part of what we do, especially like with the Health, Wealth, and Self, is talk about not only the best practices that Joe's talking about and introducing all these different therapies, but, if you're going to live longer, what's the wealth trajectory look like? If you're a physician, we buy clinics with the group that I work with, and many times we're buying clinics because doctors don't know how to evaluate their practices. They never ran it consistently. I have doctors that are 80-something years old that are still working. I saw my dad's 82, and we're about to buy a clinic from an OGBYN who's 82 years old, who never trained anybody to take his place. They didn't think that far. And then we talk about themselves, about are they a brand? What do they look like in the media? Just like Dr. Oz. We had Dr. Drew at our clinic last week as one of our spokespeople. So when they start thinking of themselves, of their positioning in their community, of how important they are in saving people's lives and prolonging people's lives, it's amazing. And what we do with Health, Wealth, and Self has kind of made it more, I've got 30 years of personal development and doing events with folks like Brian Tracy and Les Brown. And after going to lots of conferences, I said, wow, let's see a little bit of that excitement along with something that really engages people, and then give them access to all the sponsors and the vendors that want to participate. And, I really believe this part of medicine is something that's so important. And I think people, the more they understand that it's not voodoo or witchcraft, it's really smart people that are figuring out ways without the pill. And I'll leave you with this. I went to my cardiologist and I said, I had some angina pains. and I have a couple of stents, and anyway, so he goes, take this. I go, what it'll do? He goes, I don't know. He says, but see how you feel in a couple of weeks. If you got headaches, we'll change to something else. I've been taking that for 4 years. Every day I take it. It's a nitrostat, right? So I don't know if it's helping me or not. But if I don't take it, I don't know either, right? So I go to a functional medicine doctor that works with me, and I had a knee problem. Instead of getting an operation, he shot ozone into my knee. He did some shock wave, and I'm good, a little bit of a brace. But again, when you start opening your mind to what's out there, it's amazing. So the conferences we got coming up in April are amazing. And then we've got this June 3rd, 4th, and 5th down at the Four Seasons here in Miami, that we're going to have this Health, Wealth, and Self conference that we're going to
It's fantastic because traditional physicians, they see patients and they will do x-rays, or ortho will add PRP and stem cell, and now, you know, the plastic surgeons are adding PRP, and your facialist now will do a PRP, the vampire facial, because everyone now is getting on this bandwagon of extra bringing supplementary income in. And then there's this fine line of, if I take a 2-day course to learn something new, am I really qualified? Is your OBGYN really qualified to do a kyphoplasty? Because I'm just saying this, because he took a 2-day course.
Correct.
You guys offer alternatives that are within the realm and the scope of their practice to bring in appropriate finances.
Yes, that as well as, you know, you got to think about, like you just said it. I know of an ophthalmologist that now does laser treatments. Right? He's gotten good at it, but he was an eye doctor, you know? And there's other treatments that are not, and Joe knows much better than I do, that somebody, you know, we have a doctor who's been doing it for 5 years, but maybe they're like, well, we don't want to pay the doctor, yeah, but he's got 5 years of experience. So it's like, you're going to hand me the device? I don't know anything. Right. I know enough to be dangerous.
Right, don't give it to Freddie for sure.
Don't give it to Freddie, it's like... And these are for like, you know, but it's so amazing that with the body and the gut and everything that we can do to, you know, to heal ourselves. It's amazing.
And after COVID, like Joe said, I think everyone has learned so much about immune system and blood types and body types and metabolism. And then to your point, can you imagine saying, Freddie, you're going to do really well with the vaccine because you're type O. Dawn, you maybe shouldn't take it. And Bailey, I don't know, it's a toss-up. If you threw all of that out into the public, you'd have massive panic and hysteria. You can't.
I like what Joe said. The better outweighed the worse.
And it did.
And it did. Now they're talking about maybe a 4th shot for whatever reason. I spoke to Joe last week. He talked to me about the gut, and everything he told me
We've
makes
talked
so
about
much
gut health
freaking-
for so long.
You know, they put me on tetracycline when I was 14 years old for my acne. And I didn't stop taking it until I was 21. I destroyed my colon on tetracycline. And then you wonder why I'm a diabetic? And then he tells me about this enzyme. Anyway, I'm not gonna bore you. When is the event?
The Miami event, the age management event, is the 7th through the 10th at Doral. Eric's event is in April, 7th through the 10th at Doral. And you know what you're really looking at is more of an acceptance of what they call a prehab, right? So even if you know how to make stem cells, and it's definitely going to regrow your knee or whatever, your cartilage, and you know it's more complicated than that. But if the patient has, you know, mild inflammatory, you know, conditions in the body, and you don't know, because it's kind of like the thing with the frogs in the water, and the frog, if you throw a frog in a hot pan of water, it jumps out, but if it's a cold pan of water and you warm it up, so we live with kind of systemic inflammation as it evolves through our lives and gets to a point where we have this mild inflammation, the immune system's compromised, and these things happen. We don't realize it, but the toxins from our diet and our environment are pouring into our bloodstream. They're not going to the liver can't filter them, so your body starts dealing, and it becomes Stockholm syndrome, where your immune system, it's called the cell danger response, and it's fascinating. Every disease follows this method. And whether you have ED and hair loss or diabetes, it's all coming from the same place. So the urologist looks at the ED, and the hair guy looks at the hair guy, and the diabetic looks at this, and the orthopedic says, oh, you have arthritis. And the spine guy says, oh, your discs, you got foraminal stenosis. It's all stemming from the gut and systemic inflammation. So the prehab says, let's test these people. Let's figure out where they are inflammatory. Let's restore their gut health. Let's get them on hormone replacement therapy. Let's give them the peptides they need. And then in 6 months, we'll do the stem cell therapy when they lose 20 pounds and they walk 1 hour a day. And you know, when we're all patients, right? So what I think is great about this is that we all can relate because we all have a user's manual, right? We're our own thing. And what we're trying to do is go into the life science world for cutting edge research in academics. Apply that into clinical practices to doctors that can help the patients, but really have the patients become more health-minded on their own. Like I said, do you want to hide under the bed and wait for the next variant that comes out, Zeus or whatever they're going to call it, right? Or the next outbreak? Or do you want to work on your immune system? Because now there's ways you can test it. There's ways to tell if your therapies are working. There's ways to measure biomarkers, they're called. So nanoparticles can deliver molecules to restore. Biomarkers can measure diseases quantitatively. These things didn't exist 5-10 years ago. They did in a lab in Munich somewhere. Now they're coming into the clinic, just like printing presses went to desktops, just like computers went to cell phones. Laboratory sciences, you have big pharma and then you have baby bio. Now, I live in Boston, where baby bio is everywhere. It's 2 guys in a pickup truck. For all you know, he's an immunologist, and I'm a biochemist, and we developed a peptide that will, comes from the bacteria that lives in your poop, that restores your gut microbiome so it can metabolize and function better. But we don't know how to become a phase 3 clinical trial. We know how to make the poop bacteria thing, right? That's what we're good at.
Right.
So big pharma, they're waiting to make a pill, and they've got to make 1 billion pills. They're like the printing press. You can have one newspaper, but we're going to have to run 2,000 of them before the machine warms up and cools down. Here's your
That's
one newspaper.
fascinating.
Now you can make one-off drugs. Now you can apply just to him. Now it's not cheap yet, but you can bet it's going to be cheaper. And as the demand goes up because people become more aware, we call it DIY, do-it-yourself healthcare, right? Be your own healthcare provider. We outsource our most precious resource to a stranger who knows nothing about us, that's constrained by the liabilities of his profession, i.e. he's a doctor. He's not going to do some weird test because he's going to pay for it.
And he may not even know about it
He doesn't even know about it. He stares at a screen.
because they just don't know the information, because you don't have the money, because you 2 guys in a pickup truck don't have the money that Big Pharma has for the advertising, like we talked about today. Do not take if you're allergic to this medication.
That's true. Correct.
So much
if you
more
have
to
a
come.
loved one who've ever taken this drug, see the law firm of, Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe, because
Dewey,
they were
Cheatham, and
never, they were the ones with the watery eyes and the, this problem and the dizziness and the drowsiness, and they never should have taken that pill. And if they had done a study, if they had looked at the clinical trials of 1,000 patients, and over half of them have to do better, and it has to affect 100,000 people, or it doesn't go to market. That's why a pill costs $300.
Yep.
So
Can't
you guys
blame
have so
pharma.
much
It takes a long
information.
time to do it, but
Well,
now things are different.
We look forward to bringing the information forward, whatever way we can, whether, is the conference going to be open to the public? Of course, with tickets?
Well,
of course.
typically no, but people are welcome to come by. And
Okay.
my website, bostonbiolife.com, we are building more patient-centric resources. There are technology providers there that will help. We engage with patient groups on Facebook to try to give them the necessary information. The doctors that come to us typically have access to these tools. So if you got some weird thing that nobody can figure out, that's usually how they find out about it. But really, all of us are on a pathway somewhere.
And the event in June down in Four Seasons, open to physicians.
Yeah, open to physicians. It's open to folks who are interested in biohacking. So it's a combination of, it's a big term, the biohacking. So we're going to have the doctors, people that are in the
Like Joe
space
Rogan.
as patients. And that'll be June 3rd, 4th, and 5th at the Four Seasons Hotel. The main part of it is a Saturday, Sunday.
That's exciting news. I'm
Very
excited.
exciting.
So, and that can be found on championmindsetevents.com, as well as on Boston BioLife, championmindsetevents.com. That's our site. We not only put on events, we help people speak, run podcasts. I've created a show called The Eric Stoller Show. So, yeah, and Fred and I were talking, and on WNN, I've been doing this for almost 30 years, so I knew Joe Knuckles 100 years. That's where it came to me. 100 years ago when I started doing this, I knew Adam. I used to be interviewed on Adam Klatzov's show when I was like 20-something years old. So when I saw WM when I walked in, I was like, wow, that brought back a little bit of a memory.
You know, it gives people hope because you just get, and I watch it firsthand with my parents. This med to that med to another med. You can't go off the meds because, like you with your nitro patch, if you go off of it, what if something happens? So you
Right.
can't, so you stay on it.
Right.
Same type of thing, but there's always hope and different alternatives, and I love the education is continuing to evolve. Joe has so much information. Oh my gosh, Joe.
But it's only good if it gets into the hands of the people that can make a difference.
So
and
let's
that's the
do it.
people, right?
Let's get
And I
that
think one of the things
information
that
out.
we talked about with you guys, because we had so much fun last time, and I was always looking for a way to get back to this, you know, and the universe works in divine ways.
Yeah.
And it brings us together when like everything you're looking for, you know, it will be there in due time. You just
Very
keep
exciting.
moving. Like the girl said, you know, the previous speaker was talking about, you know, how she just does it.
Yep.
You know, she's manifesting it. She's just going to make it happen. And I think by giving patients resources to research, treating doctors like scientists and treating patients like healthcare providers will shift healthcare. Because no one's
Amen.
going to do it but you.
You have to be your biggest advocate. You have to advocate for yourself.
not
And if
that
you
hard.
can't, you
It's
need to
not that
you
hard.
need to advocate for those that you love because there are things out there and there are different options that can make you feel a whole lot better than suffering.
True that.
Ready to wrap this up?
Ready to wrap it up?
We're reading your mind. I know. So much information. Have a great day, everyone. Stay safe. Be kind to each other. And we'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. brunch. Full show. You do not want to miss it. We've got lunch coming in. We've got a 96-year-old Holocaust survivor and a 92-year-old Miss Senior America. Wow. Have a great day.
Don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.
In the cold and sleepless nights, I wait for you to bring me back to life. In my electric eyes, it doesn't mean that time can pick in every single breath. I want to unfreeze my heart and fly away. That's why I wanna save her. Your moons and craters. Open up my eyes, waterfalls of ice, sweeping me away like an avalanche. Helpless as I fall, the words can't say it all, sweeping me away like an avalanche, like an avalanche. I listen for a sound, waiting deep inside my maze of sweeping thrills and colors. Just a ray of light, bathing me in drops of ink that gleams across my body. Wish you could unfreeze my heart and